Deputy President Paul Mashatile, in his capacity as a special envoy to South Sudan, is on an official 4-day visit to the country, which starts today. He's accompanied by the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Minister Naledi Pandor. South Africa, of course, has a long-standing relationship with South Sudan, predating its independence in 2011. We speak now to SABC News correspondent Patrick Oyet in Juba about what we can expect from the visit. Patrick, good morning to you. Where are we right now in the program of when we see the Deputy President arriving? Really, what does that agenda look like?
Yes, as you correctly said already, the Minister for International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa is already in Juba. She arrived here on Sunday and met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of South Sudan. And of course, we're expecting the Deputy President of South Africa to arrive in Juba at 15 GMT, which is 5 p.m. South Sudan time and 5 p.m. of course South Africa time. And thereafter there is expected to be a meeting, of course, with the President of South Sudan. That is between the Deputy President of South Africa and the President of South Sudan. And of course, South Africa and South Sudan have a lot of issues that need to be discussed. One of them, of course, is that South Africa has been helping South Sudan in terms of getting peace, lasting peace in the country. Of course, there have been negotiations when South Sudan was at war, and South Africa played a key role, especially on the issue of number of states in the country. So this is a continuation of ensuring that the peace process is going on well. As you may already know, South Sudan is preparing for elections in 2024, so many issues might emerge that will need the support of South Africa. And not only that, of course, as you mentioned, the country also has good relationship with South Africa in terms of the political parties that are ruling parties. The African National Congress and the Sudan People's Liberation Movement have been having a long relations, including, of course, ANC trying to reunify the factions of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement here. So there are a lot of issues that will be discussed, but also another issue is that South Africa has also injected $1 billion in the oil sector in South Sudan. So as you can see, there are so many issues that the leadership of the two countries will be discussing.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost difficult to ignore the fact that we have just come out of the 15th BRICS summit that took place here in Johannesburg, Patrick, and obviously with all the leaders that were in attendance, very hard to miss President Salva Kiir, who was also in attendance last week. I mean, when he made his way back home to South Sudan, really some of the big take-home that the country then received from the president about what he took from the BRICS summit. Hopefully, I imagine those conversations being carried over today with our own Deputy President Paul Mashatile.
Definitely, because already the Minister of Information of South Sudan has been talking about the BRICS summit, and has said that South Sudan is thinking now and strategizing on what to do next, because definitely their hearts are with BRICS, and BRICS is growing. So definitely that is one thing that will be on the agenda. And as you said, President Salva Kiir actually was out of South Sudan. He was in Kenya. He returned to the country and just took a few hours and left for the BRICS summit, and then came back. So definitely it shows you the importance that the country attaches to the BRICS. Otherwise, he had just come from Kenya, he would have not gone. But definitely he went, he only took a few hours and went for the BRICS meeting. So definitely that will be one of the agendas that will be discussed.
Yeah. And I imagine that the issue of peace being a really big one. I mean, I think one of the big themes to come out of the BRICS summit as well was its commitment to stability and security on the continent. I mean, what does that discussion look like with South Africa and South Sudan then come together at a table?
Yes, that is very important for South Sudan in the fact that the country heading for elections, and elections by nature are divisive, and we are just coming from a war, from civil war that ended in 2018. But I can tell you that there is relative peace now in the country. The situation is much, much better than before. There is no fighting between, let me say, government forces and opposition forces as such. There are, however, pockets of insecurity here and there, intercommunal violence, and that is what now the country is concerned about, and the government here is concerned about that there should be a discussion on how really the security should be maintained, and South Africa will definitely continue to play a very, very big role. Because also here we have United Nations peacekeepers, which comprises of also South African troops who are here to keep peace. So you can see that it is really something that will be very, very important. Right. And it is important for the people of South Sudan to also to give hope for the people.